Okay, so the course that I'm describing is a course which specializes in the production of environmental impact assessment reports to do with offshore wind. And this was recently funded by SkillNet to address a need in the industry, because there's a planned expansion of offshore wind, as I'm sure everybody here knows, which has created a requirement for more competent professionals. And offshore wind developments present a particularly difficult case when it comes to carrying out environmental assessment and also producing reports that are useful. And being useful includes the fact that these things are suitable for sort of analysis by people who have concerns, and they're well written enough to be robust when being looked at by people who have to make decisions on these issues. So in response to this, partly in response to this and other types of environmental impact assessment, the EPA produced guidelines for good practice in how to produce environmental impact reports, and also a similar good practice note on strategic environmental assessment. And what we decided in consultation with the funders was that we would address the issue of how to take the information that has been collected for a particular wind farm development and make it fit the framework described in these good practice notes. And that is what the focus of the course that we are going to start delivering in semester 2 of this year will be. So as an example of what is meant by the guidelines of this course, I've put in this, this cartoon here, which is in the report, and it's a basic outline of how things are done in environmental impact assessment. I guess some of you will know about this and some won't, but there's a process involved where you screen and scope to identify issues that may be relevant to your particular development and to make an assessment of how important they are. And then there is another section where you decide what type of information you need to collect, whether the information you need is available, how to describe and quantify the issues that are relevant to your particular development. Once you've identified the things that are important, you describe how you will mitigate likely impacts where they occur, and then you submit that report for scrutiny and consent, and it is dealt with by the regulator. And the purpose of this course is to teach people how to take the very complex information that is presented in offshore wind assessment and to make it fit into a document using this model. So how we're going to deliver the course is there will be 10 weekly 2-hour sessions on a Wednesday evening between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. In each weekly session, there'll be 2 40-minute lectures, and there'll also be 30 minutes for discussions, student query, and we are really going to do everything we can to try to build, try to encourage the students to speak to each other and to build a network of colleagues that they can use in the future as well as during the duration of the course. Any lectures that we give will be using case studies of good practice in recent Irish examples to demonstrate how to do the various tasks that are involved in scoping, screening, and producing reports in line with the current guidelines. We will have some guest speakers from industry and also some from the regulators, and they will provide insight into their experience, and we will have at least 3, possibly 4 guest speakers in the first 10-week run of the course. After those 10 weeks are over, we will continue to show up on Wednesday evenings for an additional 4 weeks to provide tutorial sessions to help students who are working on assessments, to share findings amongst themselves and also to receive help and guidance from the teaching staff. So while we're doing it, we will post everything onto Canvas, which is an online learning environment, and students are free to cover this material in their own time. The only fixed time in which they should really be attending are the 2 hours on a Wednesday evening on a given week. They can work reasonably at their own pace, and it should allow them to work this course into their family and business lives. And we'll provide background reading and case studies and any information we can think of and anything else that we're asked to deliver. So this table is probably too much detail for this session. And it outlines the various topics that will form the focus of given weeks during the course. And it will take students from an introduction to what EIA and EIA reports are in the context of marine wind farms, and take them all the way through to the process of reviewing and presenting the information in EIA reports. So we have identified the following learning outcomes. So what we're hoping is that a student who has completed this course will be able to do these 7 things, which are demonstrate knowledge of the requirements of an EIA report in terms of licensing, that they can recognize and describe the roles of various stakeholders and the importance of consultation in the process of producing a successful EIAR. It's very important that someone who's taking on a document that is as complex and multidimensional as this, that they know how to work in teams. And we will try our best to demonstrate that to them. They should also be able to articulate the requirements and formats of the various stages of environmental impact assessment, so screening and scoping reports in line with best practice. And they should be able to detail the requirements and the format for environmental impact reports in Ireland related to offshore renewable energy developments. They should be able to describe the purpose and the appropriate information to include in the EIAR under certain technical topics. And they are, as listed here, considering alternatives, describing the proposed project, describing the baseline, assessment of effects, mitigation, monitoring, and residual effects. They should also be able to demonstrate an understanding of the importance of taking something that complicated and producing something coherent, accessible, and useful when they produce the report. So it has to be as coherent and accessible as possible, and also deal effectively with each topic. And it should, in as far as possible, avoid duplication in the report. They should be able, again, as final learning outcome, to describe an effective process of document review to achieve these objectives. So people who are participating in this course will be assessed by producing 3 review documents. And what we are expecting is probably a total maximum of 8,000 to 10,000 words produced. So there is a bit of work in it, but we're trying not to overload students, because we realize that most people are working full-time while participating in this course. And the various tasks will be broken down in this way, and we will get them to submit things as they go. We won't leave people with a very major task to do at the end, in the hope that it will help them to manage their time. So if you want to apply for the course, then you should visit the CalPID website, which is the Centre for Adult Learning and Professional Development at the University of Galway. And there's a link here. This is the course code. The course is certified to level 9 and it is a 10 ECTS course. The headline fee is €1,800, but if you apply to SkillNet Offshore Wind Academy, then it is possible to get partial funding from them, and you can get the information from that by emailing them at this email address here. And if you get that funding, then the subsidized fee is €800.